Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on.
We're 1 hour away from kickoff.
We ready to go. Let's crank this thing up.
In Berwick Bulldogs football. On the Goat Rocks PA. Brought to you by these local businesses.
1, 2, 3.
Mason's Monogramming, Overhead Door of Berwick, Mayo Funeral Home, State Farm, Sean Black and Lori Powell, First Keystone Bank, Red's Roofing, Neighbor Fence Company, Wolfie's Automotive, ND Accounting and Consulting, J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling of Berwick, Master Tech Automotive Services, Eco First Logistics, Ken Pollock, Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg, Lays Alexander GMC of Hazleton, Papa Lou's Place, The Compression Shop, Cardinal Estate Planning, Chapin Oil, Mark Nespoli of EXP Realty, and Janae Calarco, EXP Realty.
I love me some football.
Now, with a behind-the-scenes look at tonight's game, it's time for the CJ Curry Show on 102, 104, and 107, The GOAT.
Try to complete the program's first unbeaten regular season since 2013. The Bulldogs are here at Tiger Stadium in Tunkhannock to take on the Tigers of Tunkhannock High School in the regular season finale. Tunkhannock is 4-5, riding a 2-game winning streak. The Bulldogs are 9-0, coming off another dominating win, 56-0 over Sealands Grove last Friday at Crispin Field. CJ, it was a typically spectacular performance by Ty Wilkerson, 305 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. I think what gets lost when you consider his value to the team is, though, how the attention that he gets opens up things for others. How many times have we seen a fake pitch by your quarterback, Brady Cleaver, and then everything opens up for him? We saw a reverse on Friday where all the attention was on him, and Caleb May goes the distance. His value goes beyond his yards, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that we take a look at in film as well, Jim, and just seeing that, when Tymer, he loves to get the ball. He loves the ball in his hands, but he knows what he brings and what you just said, his value when he doesn't touch the ball or when we fake to him. And you can see from the all-22 perspective of our film, the entire defense, linebackers, safeties, outside backers who might be off the ball, they all flow with him when we fake the ball to him. And like you said, when you have guys like Brady Cleaver and Caleb May and even guys like Everett Snyder and Gabe Decker who are able to get touches off of that, it just opens up so many other things. And so, as people could say, well, you're one-dimensional, you only run the football, but we have a lot of different threats running the football, so that's very helpful. And Tymer obviously does that on 15 carries. Once again, he's averaging over 12 yards per carry, which is just unheard of. So super proud of his effort, but also everybody else who contributes.
That reverse was a terrific play. They hand off to Ty. He tosses it to Caleb. A play we haven't seen before. I've heard different philosophies of coaches about plays like that, innovative plays, trick plays, if you will. Some say save it for the big game, save it for the postseason. Others say complicate the other team's preparations by showing them everything. Do you have a particular philosophy?
For sure. I think it's a little bit of both of those things that you just said. And if you asked our coaching staff and if you asked our players coming into this season, I was telling everybody, I want to run one trick play per game. But, it has to be as you're in the flow of the game. And it has to be the right timing. You have to be seeing, the setup off of what you want to do to get that trick play to make it happen. So we have a couple in our arsenal, and we think, it's going to be important to utilize those down the road. But we felt like when we were in our games so far this season, when you're doing what you need to do offensively and when everything's working and when you're driving the football, you don't want to waste it down on something that might not possibly be there, to take that shot when you're moving the ball effectively and like we've done so far this season. And so, I think that what you said, though, and making other teams prepare for it is definitely something that we need to do a little bit more of because, we want to be very multiple on offense. We want to show different formations and we want to shift and we want to motion. I think we've done a good job with that, but always having a trick in there just makes it that much more difficult for other teams to prepare.
We praise the offensive line every week, and they deserve it. They're a great group, but you have more blocking than just them. Everett Snyder, Gabe Decker, others, there's all contributors.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Everett's come so far as a fullback from last year to this year. He's put on weight, he's gotten much stronger, and he's gotten more physical and tougher. Last year it was a struggle for him to have these kick-out blocks where he comes and he takes the end man on the line of scrimmage and tries to kick out from the inside out. We didn't get a ton of those blocks from him last year, which is a reason why we put Matt Gordner in that full fullback spot quite a few times last year when we got the offense rolling how we wanted it to. But, Ev's done such a great job, and he's been a factor running the football a little bit more this year. Our tight ends are unbelievable. Gabe Decker, Skylar Neville, happy to see Gabe get a catch for a touchdown last week. But those guys love to block. Another guy who's done a great job for us is Ashton Smith. Ashton's played every position except for offensive line for us this year on offense and defense, and that might not even be out of the cards yet. He's just that special, of a player. So he played some Z wide receiver, had some great blocks out there. He played some tight end for us and some wing back essentially, and had some great blocks there on Friday night. Brock Sims, one of our linebackers who's in our heavy package, he had his best blocking game so far. So truly by committee, these guys are doing a great job, and all being bought into what we want to do and making it easy for our backs to go get yards.
Speaking of blocking, you want your wide receivers to know that when they're downfield and there's a long play, that blocking is part of their deal. But you got a couple penalties on those. So how do you deal with those things? What do you tell those receivers that are committing those penalties and bringing back long plays?
Certainly frustrating, and we had 2 of those on Friday night specifically. As you look back on the tape with Caleb May, feel for that. That was a tough call, we believe. He had 2 guys that were coming to, as Alex was 10 yards ahead of him, 2 guys are coming to try to sandwich Caleb May. So based on the tape and on both angles, he was bracing himself for it. The guys ran into him. It didn't look good, and he got that call, which is just unfortunate. So for me, it was just not as much to say to Caleb. That was, we think, a missed call. But, Alex's was a little bit more egregious, and understanding that when you have a free safety who's standing with his feet in cement, and you have number 5 or whoever it is running the ball coming down full speed, we like our chances on that. So just stay away from the block. And the one thing that we preach to our wide receivers is be aggressive and go out and make that contact. And you got to love blocking, and you got to be bought into it. So the effort I'm proud of on that. But Alex is a really smart football player, and he knew that he was wrong. So it's just one of those things that, with that experience and seeing it, I don't think Alex is going to make that mistake again. So we applaud the effort, but just being a little bit smarter and understanding where we are on the field and where he is, and to just understand when you just have to let go.
Mm-hmm. Last Friday, Berwick's defense pitched its second shutout of the season. Up next, CJ will tell us about that effort. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Goat Rocks, PA.
We've all been there, faced with a physical setback. Whether you've suffered a sports injury that takes you out of the game, or your aches and pains are keeping you from doing what you love, we all want the same thing, to get your life back. Thankfully, you can trust the region's only nationally ranked orthopedic team to help get you there. At Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, we turn setbacks into comebacks, one movement at a time. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Comebacks begin here.
Are your appliances feeling a little bit outdated? You looking for the best deals in town? Well, look no further than Flick Brothers Electric, your go-to family-owned appliance paradise. Flick Brothers Electric has all the top-notch name-brand appliances you could ever dream of. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, microwave stoves. They even give free estimates on Fujitsu ductless air conditioner heat pump units. Flick Brothers Electric on Maple Lane, keeping Bloomsburg cool, clean, and cooking for over 65 years. Call them at 570-784-3444.
Now, back to the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks, PA.
The 2025 high school football regular season comes to an end with this weekend's games. Here at Tiger Stadium, the unbeaten Bulldogs take on Tunkhannock. Berwick's defense completely shut down Selinsgrove's offense in last Friday's 56-0 win at Crispin Field, limiting the Seals to just 96 yards in total offense. CJ, Gavin Galusha was having an outstanding season at linebacker. With him out with injury, he used both Ashton Smith and Connor Roberts at linebacker against Selinsgrove. How did they do?
They had very good games, and I think that Ashton's kind of risen to the occasion to really fill that spot of Gavin. Ashton played as our starting middle linebacker all summer in 7-on-7s. He's really athletic. He also played strong safety and defensive end on Friday night, so he did a great job in all those positions. But Ashton's gotten much better in reading things, getting downhill fast, and being physical. He finished with 4 tackles, 2 sacks, and an interception, which is awesome for his first start at linebacker. And then Connor Roberts, a sophomore who, things were moving a little bit quickly for him. And, he missed a big game where he could have gotten experience with Nanticoke because of an injury. But, for his first time playing on one of the first drives, he came downhill. He had a tackle for loss. He ended up with 3 tackles. And so, both of those guys did well. We're very proud of that, and we think that they're going to continue to get better. Obviously hard to replace Gavin. We hope that we can get him back soon, but our defensive line did a great job, and it opened up things for our linebackers.
You can tell a player's popularity among teammates by their reaction when that player makes a play. Late in last Friday's game, a 56-0 game, Ashton Smith intercepted a pass. When he came off, he was mobbed as if he just clinched the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Ashton's just such a glue guy for us, and Ashton's done everything right. And I think our guys have seen what it truly means to be a leader when it comes to Ashton. I mean, Ashton was in contention to be our starting quarterback, and he lost that battle. And for most people, you would put your head down and just kind of say, man, this is unfair. You start to feel sorry for yourself, not work as hard. But guys watched how Ashton handled that situation and understood that Ashton would do whatever he can to help our team, which is why he's been such a Swiss Army knife for us in playing wide receiver, tight end. He still played some quarterback. He's played fullback. He's played tailback. He's played strong safety, linebacker, defensive end. He's done everything. And so our guys just love him. He never complains. He's been a great leader for us. He's been a vocal leader for us. And people respect Ashton Smith on our team. So to see him make those plays, it was amazing.
Chemistry and culture are 2 words that are thrown around, maybe overused when it comes to football. But watching your team on the field, watching your team off the field, watching your team on the sidelines, I get a sense that there's a real chemistry there, that they really like one another.
Absolutely, and that's the love that we have for each other, and that's what we try to build, and it starts in here in this weight room in the off season. When you have buy-in from guys, and when they spend countless hours in here in the weight room, and they're here for 3.5 hours a night, 4 times a week, all off season, and then when you have them in the community together, and when you try to do team bonding type of things with them, and for a group like this, they've really meshed well. We have a big senior group, and that group's been close for all of their lives. But our juniors and our sophomores and our freshmen who's just become so acclimated to what we want to do, and they're totally bought in on our culture as well. And so we have a standard here, and we don't want to change that standard for anything, and our guys love that. Sometimes I'm the bad guy that everybody is mad at me, but that brings them closer together, so I'm okay with that. And then Nick Saban has a quote: if you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream, don't be a leader. But some of those times that it's really, really hard, and it's really, really tough, and guys are on the brink of giving up, but these guys have just kept motivating each other and staying together through the course of our entire offseason. And when you have chemistry, when you have love for each other, when you have belief, that puts you in position to be in football games, and that's the reason why we've been able to take care of business so far.
Well, later in the show, CJ will tell us about tonight's opponent, Tunkhannock. But up next, it's the Bulldog Spotlight feature. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Goat Rocks, PA.
Hey, hometown fans. You know Journey Bank as your trusted local bank. But did you know we're also the biggest cheerleader for our community's youth? From athletes competing under the Friday night lights, to students excelling in the classroom, to talented teen stars singing center stage, we're investing in the future of our young people. At Journey Bank, we're committed to helping our kids score big in every aspect of life. Journey Bank, where dreams are nurtured and futures are built. Journey Bank, proud supporter of our local youth.
We've all been there, faced with a physical setback. Whether you've suffered a sports injury that takes you out of the game, or your aches and pains are keeping you from doing what you love, we all want the same thing: to get your life back. Thankfully, you can trust the region's only nationally ranked orthopedic team to help get you there. At Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, we turn setbacks into comebacks, one movement at a time. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Comebacks begin here.
Now, back to the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks, PA.
Try to complete an unbeaten regular season and maintain the top seed for the District 2 3A playoffs, which begin next week. The Bulldogs are here in Tunkhannock tonight. In our next segment, CJ will tell us what to expect from the Tigers, but now it's time for our weekly feature, Bulldog Spotlight. Tonight, the spotlight is on junior linebacker Brock Sims. CJ, when you go from a 4-7 record like your team had a year ago to an unbeaten record, obviously there are a number of players who have to take a big step up. Brock Sims was kind of an afterthought last year, although he played. this year he's been terrific. In fact, coming into tonight's game, he's your leading tackler. He has 13 tackles for loss. Talk about the step he made.
Simsy is a coach's dream, Jim, in all honesty. Last year, once again, he was in contention to compete for some positions, but he was probably a year away. So he played JV, and he dominated JV. And that's what you want to see from a guy who's about to take that next step. Simsy was all over the field as a linebacker in JV last year. He played wildcat quarterback for us when our JV quarterback went down. He ran the football. He just got so much better and gained so much confidence during that season. The one thing that separates Brock Sims from everybody else, well, it's really two things. It's his work ethic and it's his football IQ. He is such a smart football player. You can put him anywhere on the football field. You know, he was our starting running back going through spring when Tymir was doing track and field, and Ty had to go earn that position back from Brock because he does everything right. He knows every assignment. He can play multiple positions on the field, and then defensively is where he shined this year, and that's where we need him the most. And he's gotten so much better from a physicality standpoint. Him working with Coach Kelly and Coach Sidler and just understanding the linebacker position a little bit better. You know, we were a little bit concerned because of maybe size going into this year, but his physicality makes up for it, and he's done everything from this offseason to put him in position to be successful. You know, he's a really good wrestler, so went through wrestling, which has helped him out with some of his football techniques, and then being in the weight room and living in here and just being able to understand our installations and what we want to do and how we want to play, and he's been everything that we could ask for. We completely trust him. You know, he's really like the captain of our defense in the middle right now. He's making calls, he's getting guys in position, and he's an unbelievable tackler. He's getting much better in coverage, and his leadership just goes on the way that he works. Nobody's ever going to outwork Brock Sims, and so that's what makes him such a pleasure to coach, and I'm so happy that, you know, we have him back for another year.
Yeah, just a junior. He should be one of your leaders next season. Will we see him contributing more on offense?
Absolutely, and he knows that his time is coming. You know, I know it was a little bit frustrating. He started our scrimmage against West Scranton carrying the football, but, you know, in our sense, we have 36 guys on our roster, so a lot of guys have to go both ways. If there's guys that we could keep on one side of the ball to keep them fresh, we're going to try to do that as much as possible, especially if it's close at another position. And so obviously, you know, with Gavin Galusha having that experience and now Caleb May taking some running back reps with a 4.4 speed in him and Caleb, you know, Brock knows that his time is coming offensively, and he's done everything that he has to do to be ready for that. And I think that next year, you know, we're going to see a lot of number 44, a lot of carries from him.
In the Bulldog Spotlight, junior Brock Sims. Tonight, Brock and his Bulldog teammates take on Tunkhannock here at Tiger Stadium. Up next, CJ will tell us about the Tigers' offense. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Goat Rocks, PA.
We've all been there, faced with a physical setback. Whether you've suffered a sports injury that takes you out of the game, or your aches and pains are keeping you from doing what you love, we all want the same thing, to get your life back. Thankfully, you can trust the region's only nationally ranked orthopedic team to help get you there. At Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, we turn setbacks into comebacks, one movement at a time. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Comebacks begin here.
Hey guys, this is Ray,
Chad, and Pat
from Blaze Alexander GMC of Greater Hazleton. It is October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What are we going to do?
We're going to sell all new in-stock inventory $1,000 under invoice.
That's the best news I've heard in a long time.
We're going to give a $100 donation to the Breast Cancer Awareness for every vehicle sold this month in October.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. So do your part. Remember, come to Blaze Alexander Greater Hazleton. We're not just a great car dealership. We go for great causes.
$100 donation for every vehicle sold.
$1,000 under invoice.
And don't forget, we have the lowest price guarantee.
Or we'll give you $1,000. I love me some football.
I love me some football.
It's the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks, PA. Brought to you by
Mason's Monogramming, Overhead Door of Berwick, Mayo Funeral Home, State Farm, Sean Black and Lori Powell, First Keystone Bank, Red's Roofing, Neighbor Fence Company, Wolfie's Automotive, MD Accounting and Consulting, J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling of Berwick, Master Tech Automotive Services, Eco First Logistics, Ken Pollock, Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg, Blaze Alexander GMC of Hazleton, Papa Lou's Place, The Compression Shop, Cardinal Estate Planning, Chapin Oil, Mark Nespoli of eXp Realty, and Janae Calarco, eXp Realty.
More with Jim Doyle and CJ Curry next on 102, 104, and 107 The Goat.
Ford is built for every drive, every adventure, every day. Ready, set,
Ford. And right now at Ken Pollock Ford, we're celebrating 10 years of driving you forward. As a proud Ford President's Award winner, we're bringing you incredible offers like the Bronco, F-150, and Explorer starting at just $499 per month and 0 down. Adventure, strength, versatility, it's all here and it's all Ford. Visit Ken Pollock Ford, 1120 West Front Street, Berwick, or online at kenpollockford.com. Select models, $499 per month, 0 down with approved credit through Ford Credit. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for details. Offer expires 11/3/25.
Planning for the future doesn't have to be complicated. Attorney Nick Lutz of Cardinal Estate Planning in Berwick will guide you every step of the way. Whether it's protecting your assets, setting up a trust, or ensuring your family is cared for, Cardinal Estate Planning provides personalized solutions for you and your family's needs. Call or sign up on their website to attend a free educational workshop that will give you an understanding of the process and peace of mind knowing your legacy is in good hands. Visit them online at cardinal'estateplanning.com. Let them help you plan for tomorrow today.
Now, back to the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks PA.
The District 2 3A playoffs begin a week from tonight, and the Bulldogs hope to be at home. It's the number 1 seed. They can clinch that top seed with a win over Tunkhannock here at Tiger Stadium. Tigers are 4-5, but they have won 2 games in a row. Pat Keating is in his 3rd season as head coach at Tunkhannock. While he hasn't beaten Berwick as head coach of the Tigers, he was 7-3 against the Bulldogs in his 10 seasons at Wyoming Valley West. CJ, before we talk about Tunkhannock's offense and their personnel, let's talk schemes. How do they line up? What do they run?
Well, Tunkhannock's one of the more difficult teams to prepare for, and Coach Keating does such a great job in keeping them multiple on offense and seeing different looks and different sets. You know, Coach Keating's won everywhere that he's gone, and he's put Tunkhannock in a really good position to keep getting better. Yeah, as like you said, they're 4-5, and he gets those guys to play hard. You know, my grandfather had a ton of respect for Coach Keating, and so do I. He's the right man for any program, I think, and he's done a great job with these guys. But offensively, I was watching them on tape in their last 2 against Montrose and against Towanda. And their first 10 plays, they're in 10 different formations. So they're very difficult to prepare for. And they'll come out in empty with 2 tight ends and 3 wide receivers. They'll come out in 11 personnel with a running back and a quarterback. They've had a wildcat quarterback playing a couple times and wanting to run the ball. They'll false pool and keep the other way. So there are so many different schemes that they're able to accomplish on offense. It just has to, you have to make sure as a defense that you're just able to stay disciplined and communicate with each other, communicate where the strength is coming from, understand tendencies and what they like to do, throwing the ball and passing the ball, what their favorite concepts are, and then do your best to stay disciplined and try to stop them.
Running back, they're led by Lucas Siprich, 745 yards rushing, 5.7 yards a carry. Describe him.
Lucas runs hard. He's a really, really tough runner, and for a sophomore to run with the attitude that he does, it's really impressive to see. And so I think that they have a relatively big offensive line. You know, seeing these guys in the summer at our Wyoming Valley Conference Media Day, they're one of the teams that popped out saying, dang, these guys really have some size. And so, Lucas does a great job in following his fullback and being able to cut off of him with one cut. Their offensive line seems to get a nice push, especially in the last 2 weeks that we've seen on film against Towanda and Montrose. But Lucas runs really, really hard. He's able to break tackles. The first guy rarely can bring him down. And, they have a really good complement with him, with Zach Lewinsky at quarterback. He's a very agile. He's mobile. He's got sneaky athleticism, and he can sling the rock. And so when you're able to set it up, running the football, I think Zach does a really good job in throwing, and he's an accurate passer.
Yeah, they used 3 different quarterbacks last season, but they've settled on Zach Lewinsky this season. He's got positive rushing yards. Are those set plays or scrambles?
A little bit of both. And, their top runner was 14. Unfortunately, we won't see 14 this week. We hope that he can get healthy and has a great career. I know he's a really good track and field athlete, and so we're hoping that, he can continue his senior year and have success with that. But, Lewinsky, when he drops back in the pocket, he just has this little wiggle about him that it's really difficult for guys to bring him down on first contact as well. So he's able to evade rush. He's able to keep his eyes downfield. They do a really good job in scramble drill of receivers being able to continue to work and get themselves open. But if he sees space, he's going to take it and run. So although a couple runs have been designed, they have a couple option packages in out of the multiple different formations that they have. But I think where he can really hurt you is breaking contain on the pocket during a pass and scrambling.
And you'll have to be aware of number 5, Carter O'Neill, who is their leading receiver.
Yeah, Carter's a really good player as well. They have some young guys playing wide receiver, but it's once again these things that we have to make sure that we're aware of who's eligible in these formations. There's a lot of times they'll use cover. There's a lot of times they'll use motion. They'll try to match up and get great one-on-one matchups. And with Lewinsky being as accurate as he is, O'Neal's definitely one that we have to make sure that we know where he's at on the field at all times.
Well, up next, CJ will tell us about the Tunkhannock defense. You're listening to the CJ Curry Show on Goat Rocks, PA.
Planning for the future doesn't have to be complicated. Attorney Nick Lutz of Cardinal Estate Planning in Berwick will guide you every step of the way. Whether it's protecting your assets, setting up a trust, or ensuring your family is cared for, Cardinal Estate Planning provides personalized solutions for you and your family's needs. Call or sign up on their website to attend a free educational workshop that will give you an understanding of the process and peace of mind knowing your legacy is in good hands. Visit them online at cardinalastate.planning.com. Let them help you plan for tomorrow today.
Are your appliances feeling a little bit outdated? You're looking for the best deals in town? Well, look no further than Flick Brothers Electric, your go-to family-owned appliance paradise. Flick Brothers Electric has all the top-notch name-brand appliances you could ever dream of. Washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, microwaves, stoves. They even give free estimates on Fujitsu ductless air conditioner heat pump units. Flick Brothers Electric on Maple Lane, keeping Bloomsburg cool, clean, and cooking for over 65 years. Call them at 570-784-3444.
We've all been there, faced with a physical setback. Whether you've suffered a sports injury that takes you out of the game, or your aches and pains are keeping you from doing what you love, we all want the same thing, to get your life back. Thankfully, you can trust the region's only nationally ranked orthopedic team to help get you there. At Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute, we turn setbacks into comebacks, one movement at a time. Lehigh Valley Orthopedic Institute. Comebacks begin here.
Hey guys, this is Ray,
Chad, and Pat
from Blaze Alexander GMC of Greater Hazelton. It is October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What are we going to do?
We're going to sell all new in-stock inventory $1,000 under invoice.
That's the best news I've heard in a long time.
We're going to give a $100 donation to the Breast Cancer Awareness for every vehicle sold this month in October.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. So do your part. Remember, come to Blaze Alexander Greater Hazelton. We're not just a great car dealership. We go for great causes.
$100 donation for every vehicle sold.
$1,000 under invoice.
And don't forget, we have the lowest price guarantee.
Or we'll give you $1,000.
Now, back to the CJ Curry Show on the Goat Rocks, PA.
Tonight, here at Tiger Stadium, it's the 27th meeting between Berwick and Tunkhannock, the regular season finale for both teams. CJ, Tunkhannock coach Pat Keating lists his team's base defenses of 4-4. Is that what we expect to see for most of tonight's game?
We believe that we'll see that 4-4, which we believe will probably turn into a 6-2, bringing those outside linebackers down and maybe dropping that strong or that free safety down into the box as well. We've also seen them play in a 5-3 against Montrose. Montrose was a little bit more pro style. They tried to come out and they were in a little bit of a single wing at times, and so we anticipate maybe seeing the 4-4, a little bit of 5-3, but we've prepared for both throughout this week. But yeah, I think we can see both.
Would you describe them as an attacking defense or read and react?
I believe they're more read and react. They don't blitz a ton with these linebackers. There's times and down and distance situations that they'll bring both inside backers. They'll line both defensive tackles up in the A gap, and they'll spray out to B, and they'll have both of those linebackers blitz A gap or vice versa. And so we expect to see a little bit more read and react. They do a really good job, these backers, in coverage and get into their spots, and so we expect to see a decent amount of man and a decent amount of cover 3. There's times that they'll drop and play into quarters, whether it's in the 4-4 or whether they go 3-4 and cover 4 in down and distance situations once again. And one guy who on that defensive line, they have some size up there, but Cooper Thomas has played really well for them, a 6'1", 250-pound senior, and then their defensive end, Jake Patton, 6'1", 265-pound senior. So the way that 4-4 works, those guys are going to try to control C gap and B gap. It's going to be tough to run on that left side, but we just have to stay low, stay relentless, and play physical football.
Well, your team is one win away from an unbeaten regular season. The last time that occurred in this program was 2013. The coach was George Curry, your grandfather. Starting quarterback was you. What are your fondest memories of that season?
Just I see so many similarities between this team and the team that I played on, and really, it's not even the wins. It's just about the time that we spent together, the time I was able to spend with my grandfather, our preparation, our practices. When I get together with the guys right now, 10 years later, 11 years later, it's just talking about those practice memories and talking about those things that happened, talking about bus rides. But I think that the thing that I see the most and why I believe that we have an opportunity to do some special things with this football team is we didn't have the all-star player on our football team. We didn't have the Division I guy that everybody was looking at. We had Andrew Force, who ended up going to Fordham, and we had, Will Updegrove, who his season was cut short, who went to Temple. But, we just believed in each other, and we believed in the coaches, we believed in the scheme, and we played really, really tough, and we played really, really hard for each other. And that's what I see with this group of guys right here. And so, those memories were awesome. Once we got into playoffs, it's similar. You beat Crestwood my senior year 37-7 the first week of the season, then you squeak one by 14-13 in the playoffs. And so it's just those tough games and being able to rally together, and just that joy when you win a football game, and a big football game, and being able to celebrate with your brothers that you grew up playing with. And that's something that's special in Berwick, and that's something that these guys have an opportunity to do as well.
Yeah, an unbeat regular season is something special. CJ, thanks for your time, and good luck in getting that.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Listen for another CJ Curry show prior to next Friday's District 2 3A semifinal, likely against Hanover area at Crispin Field. Stay tuned.